Hi fellow pickers, welcome to a new lesson, this time on a Robert Johnson song. It's Me and the Devil Blues. We're in open G tuning and we don't have a capo today. The intro starts with this chord shape. This is a G7th, and this is 9th fret of the first string, 6th fret of the second string, and 7th fret of the third string. In the bass, we have a brushing thumb, brushing over two strings, 5 and 4. We start with a triplet on top of the first bass note. On the second bass note, we have the same chord again, and for the transition to the next chord we only use the G string. Then we bring the same thing down to the 5th position, then to the 4th position. And this is the target chord. G chord. This is 5 on the first string, 3 on the second, and 4 on the third string. So this is the G chord, which is the target note, the target chord. This is where we start. Then we go down, and then we end up here. Okay, let's play that. Then we have this turnaround. We always play open first string and 8th fret of the second string, and in the bass we have 10, 9, 8 and 7. Alright, so we start with the 3rd finger playing the 10th fret note, then the 2nd finger playing the 9th fret, and now I shift here, and instead of using the 1st finger I use the 3rd finger. Okay, and then down to 7, so we have 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, and here we have a D7th chord, which is open first string, then 1 and 2 on strings number 2 and 3, and we have the middle finger at the 2nd fret of the A string, and in the bass we have this brushing thumb, this time 6 and 5, and here this groove begins, and this will be our groove throughout the whole piece. Okay, so actually this is a triplet, tat 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 tat, but the first two notes are merged, and this is what we get. This is our groove in the bass. Okay, so the whole intro would be in the verse. Now before we start with the verses, with the accompaniment, I think I have to explain something for all these people who are not so familiar with rhythmical theory. So in this piece we have something that we call swinging eighth notes. That means that when you see a pair of eighth notes, they are not real eighth notes. Okay, let me try to explain it. It all starts with a quarter note. Okay, so if we want to speak that, we could, for example, say sun, 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 sun. These are the main beats. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But in this case, we just say sun, 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 sun. All right. If we divide each quarter note into 3 equal notes, then we have this. We have triplets. And what we could count is sunny day, sunny day, sunny day, sunny day. Okay? So sun, 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 sun. Sunny day, sunny day, sunny day, sunny day. And these are 2 elements that emerge in this piece. We have quarter notes and we have triplets. But we also have something that I call swinging eighth notes. This is when you merge the first 2 of a triplet. By the way, this is called a triplet. If you merge the first 2 notes of a triplet, then you would have Sunday, 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 Sunday. Okay? So, when you see 2 eighth notes, actually this is meant. Okay? So we don't have real eighth notes here. When you see eighth notes, they're swinging eighths. Okay, so then we have all elements. We have the quarter notes, we have the triplets, and we have the triplety or swinging eighth notes. Okay, so now we can start. Now, in the bass of our verse and also in the solo, we mostly have this rhythm here. This is what we call the swinging eighth notes. So remember, Sunday, 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 Sunday. And I mostly do this with a brushing thumb over 2 strings, so either 5 and 4 together or 6 and 5. And I always have a bit of a palm muting so that we don't have completely open sounding strings, but this kind of a bit muffled sound. Okay, so now we try to bring the elements that we need together. So when we play for example a chord in the fingers, this is always on the first of the two swinging eighth notes, and very often at the beginning of a bar. Okay. This is what could happen when we play quarter notes on top of our swinging eighth notes bass rhythm. Okay, so this shouldn't cause too many problems. By the way, this could be a 2-finger chord or a 3-finger chord or a brushing of the finger. But it's always a quarter note. What we could also have is is that thumb and fingers play simultaneously. Then we have the same rhythm in the fingers. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. So this should be the easiest of all elements, of all rhythmical elements. What could cause some troubles is when we play triplets. Mostly when we play triplets, we start with a brushing thumb, then an index finger, mostly on the G string, but it could also be on the B string, but let's say it's on the G string. Okay, and then this would be sunny, and now day. The last one is the middle finger on the B string in this example. Now when we play this in a row, it sounds like that. Okay, so these are the main elements that occur in the piece. So make sure that you can play this comfortably with a certain ease. This is the first piece where I use this swinging eighth notes rhythm in the bass. So it took me some time to get used to that. So I think it might be the case that you need some time as well. But you will get it if you do it slowly and don't try to skip this practice of this rhythm. Okay, so now let's really start with with the verse and the solo. Okay, when we come to the verse now, please keep in mind that what I've written down is only a snapshot. So this is maybe what I play in a certain verse, and in another verse I change things. And you can do that too. You just use the three elements that we discussed and bring them into a different order, leave things out, add things. Okay, so feel free to play your own stuff. But I show you what I did in the first verse. So this would be the first bar. We start with a chord on the first beat. Then we have the second bass, and then we had the next element would be a triplet. So we start with a brushing thumb, then we have the index finger alone on the G string, and then we have the middle finger on the B string together with the thumb. So all together this would be. Then we just keep the bass going, and at the end of this bar we repeat the triplet that we played on beat number 2. So the whole bar would be. The singing starts on the first triplet. Early this morning. In the next bar we just bring this down from the 6th position to the 5th position. So we have a G diminished. Early this morning. I left a triplet out. And you can do that too, of course, but this was by default, so I repeat it. Early this morning, the devil knocked upon my door. So in bar number 2 we have this chord here on beat number 1, and then we just keep the bass going, and only on beat number 4 we have the same kind of triplet that we had in bar number 1. to the G7th. So these were the first two bars. Let's play them together. And as I said, if you design your own thing, then, for example, you can add elements into bar number 2. Early this morning, the devil knocked upon my door. For example, something like that. So then we come back to the G7th. And we have a quarter note in the fingers. Then we have a triplet. Come back to the G diminished. If you like, you can play a 2-finger chord here at the end of the first triplet and also at the end of the next triplet. So either this or this. Okay, so bar number 3 would be, and in bar number 4 we just have this back and forth. Our bass keeps going all the time. So this would be the first line. Early this morning, the devil knocked upon my door. Early this morning. And this would be the beginning of the next line. By the way, when I played all these chords, I use index, middle and ring finger. And I know that a lot of people don't use the ring finger of the right hand. Then I would suggest to just leave the G string notes away. It's not so much of a difference if you don't have the G string. Or you could do something like a brushing index finger. Okay, so you have these two possibilities. If you don't want to use the ring finger, just leave the G string away or do something like a brush. Okay, so this was the first line. Now in the second line, we have this C7th chord over G bass. So this is the 2nd fret on the 4th string, then 3rd fret, 3rd string, 1st fret, 2nd string. This is the rhythm I play. This would be bar number 2. Early this morning, the devil knocked upon my door. Okay, so I play this again very slowly. And now we have a back and forth of this type of G7th chord. This is 3 on the 4th string, 4 on the 3rd string, and 3 on the 2nd. And this goes back and forth. This would be a G diminished then, and this a G7th. So bar number 3 of line number 2 would be. So the whole second line. Early this morning, ooh, the devil knocked upon my door. In line number 3 we have this D7th chord. So this is like a C7th in normal tuning, brought up to the 3rd position, and together with this low D note here in open G tuning we have a D7th chord. We start with brushing thumb notes, and then we have 3 triplets. They're all the same. They start with a brushing thumb, then index finger on the G string, and then the middle finger on the B string together with the bass, this time on the D string. So we have kind of a alternating bass here. And then we have this muted chop on this chord. Then we go down and play this chord. This is like a C chord. And in fact, it's a C chord, but here we don't need the ring finger because we're in open G tuning. And we play a reverse brushing of the index finger. And then we add a 3rd finger or a pinky to the 3rd fret of the G string and play another chop on this C7th over G bass. So this would be Said hello Satan, now I believe it's time to go. Okay, and then we just have to play the turnaround that we already know from the intro. Now I play a whole verse very slowly without singing. Okay, now let's come to the solo. As you probably know, Robert Johnson, I think he never did solos, at least not in this one. But I like to do a solo, and I start with this double stop. It's both the same note, so the 8th fret of the 1st string or the 11th fret of the 2nd string, they produce the same note, but if your strings are correctly tuned, you won't hear a difference, but mostly they're not quite the same, and so you have a little interference. I don't know the exact word, but it's not the 100% the same height of the note, and this can have a nice effect. I detune the 1st string a little. So you know what I mean. So this is a bit sharper than that one, the 2nd one. And this is what I mean by interference. Okay, and this is how I start my solo. So 8 and 11, and bring this up to 9 and 12. And then I play the open bass note, and I play the 9th fret of the D string, this time with the index finger, not with the thumb. So here, this is one single note without a brushing thumb. And together with these two, I have the 10th fret note on the D string played by the middle finger. And then I just keep the bass going. Okay, so this is how I start my solo. And then I have a glissando, and I have a bar chord over 5 strings. And I bring this up to the 5th fret. And for the next few notes, or the next few chords, I need an additional finger, which is the pinky in the 8th fret of the 1st string. So in this triplet, I have a 3-finger chord, or 2-finger chord if you like, together with a brushing thumb. Then I have the G string note alone before I come back to the chord, and then I pull out the finger and have the plain the plain bar chord. At the end of this bar, I play the same type of triplet that we had before in the verse. So the first line of the solo would be. In the next line we start. I'm sorry. We start with this G7th type that we had before. So we start with the bass, then we have the chord together with the bass, and then I add the pinky to the 5th fret of the 1st string, and beat number 2 is a triplet. Brushing thumb plus 2 fingers, then the 1st string alone, and come back to the chord. Then I bring these 3 fingers down and add the pinky again to the 5th fret of the 1st string. So this is a bit of a stretching. And now, if my finger was long enough, I could stay with this chord and bring the finger up here, but it isn't, and yours probably isn't too. And so I either jump up to the 5th fret and come back, or just play the open string. Okay, so this would be bar number 1 of the 2nd line. Bar number 2, we have this sliding into the 5th fret. I mostly come from the 3rd fret, and then we slide back to 3 and keep the bass going while we hold this chord. Then I slide up to this 5th fret bar chord again and play something very similar to what we had in bar number 17. actually it's the same, only that we don't have a triplet at the end of this bar. And then we come down to this C7th over G bass. See, we have this chord before. After we have played this triplet, we slide here, we slide from 1 to 2, and then come back. To 1. And then we have this B flat note here, together with our brushing thumb. In bar number 22 we start with open strings. Then we come up to the 12th fret on the 1st and 2nd string. We bring this down to 11. And then we have a very complicated triplet with a dotted note. I don't explain that. Don't even try to explain that. I probably couldn't. So just follow me in the rhythm here. Okay, and then we come to this double stop here. This is 8 in the second, on the 2nd string, and 9 on the 1st string. We move from here, so this 8 and 9, to 6 and 5. Alright, so. So I'm not quite sure what I played in the performance at the end of this bar. So you could stay with the chord or put the hand out and have open strings for the last note of this bar number 23. It doesn't really matter. I think to make the transition easier, I put the fingers out and have open strings at the end of bar number 23. Okay? Then in bar number 24 we have a new chord. Now we already had it before. So this is this D7th, 2 on the 5th, 2 on the 3rd, and 1st on the 2nd string. And as you can hear, I have micro bendings here. And we need the pinky as the additional finger here. And these micro bendings can also be proper bendings that go up to the 4th fret note. And then I do something like strummings, something like that, and then we have this run. So after we have the first beat of bar number 25, we have a 3rd fret note, which I slide from the 2nd fret. And then the first triplet here is 2 and 1 on the B string and 3 on the G string. 2, 1, 3. Next triplet, open, G string, then 3 and open on the D string. And then 6, 5 and 3, all on the A string. And the target note, of course, is the open A string then. I missed one note, I play it again. And then we just have to play our turnaround. And the D7th that we had in the turnaround that occurred in the verse. Okay, I play from bar number 24. And this brings us back to the verse. And let me play the whole solo now. Okay, fellow pickers, that was my version of Robert Johnson's Me and the Devil Blues. I hope you have a lot of fun learning this one, and I'd be glad if you welcomed me back soon again for another lesson. In the meantime, take care. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.